Alright, boys, I know everyone was getting a little bit impatient, as was I, because of course we are going to have a couple of interesting games coming up tonight. We're going to find out who's going to be taking that North American qualifier spot in that Cologne tournament over in Germany. And you can see already, actually, the action kicking up pretty quickly, as we will actually see aggression coming through from both sides towards the ramp. A couple of trades being found back and forth. I was going to say favouring FURIA, of course, and it still kind of does, considering that a couple of players are low in HP, and as we see those both be finished off, it leaves it all on Sabrosa now on the back of the bomb site, being hunted down by multiple players. There isn't really much that could be done. Gets quickly dropped. I mean, Vinny and Art were both low on HP. I mean, so if he had got them first two frags quickly, then there definitely would have been an opportunity. I also have just realized that I haven't changed the thing up in the corner, so I will change that now. Apologies. I hadn't gone onto the game thing, so let me quickly change call to Lazarus, and then we're good. And also, of course, change that 1 to 0, because this is the first map of the series. Guys, I ain't no professional producer. I'm casting North American games. We need some NA production, you know what I mean? Here we go. We should be all good now. But the force buy coming through from Lazarus. We seen yesterday how successful these force buys could be. We've seen teams such as Ghost kind of very, very successful with them. More so even the day before than yesterday, but of course, just in general, Ghost, they love bringing out those scouts with the pistols. Not the buy we're going to see from Lazarus, of course, but an auto shotty, very useful here on Nuke, I suppose, if you're playing it around the hut position mostly. You can see Swag actually has it in towards Secret, and I don't think he expects Arthur already to be closed in terms of the distance. A little bit of a dink doesn't do too much damage. The Swag decides he wanted to try and fall back and ends up getting dropped. The scout from Art. 2 shots actually being allowed to be connected. I mean, Sabrosa not expecting them to reface, try to get the nade in. So that is just a little bit unfortunate. But of course, with that now, and another frag even being found for Vinny, it should be a pretty easy finish from this point forward. Only Zelzas and Infinite actually remaining. I think that just Infinite now, rotating up through Secret. And he gets quickly dropped by Yuri. So FURIA coming through with a very convincing second round. Not going to be any trouble against the force buy for the Brazilian side. And of course now off the back of that, we should see them taking a pretty quick 3-0 lead. They have an opportunity here to try and take another extremely clean round. And ideally for Caserato, with that at Mach 10, and then also Art on the UMP more so, to try and actually just build up some bank. $600 per frag on those SMGs against Kevlar-less opponents. Only a few upgraded P250s. It's a good opportunity, and you can see that is the case. The 2 SMGs immediately making their way outdoor, but they don't even really have to fight anything, because that smoke towards main keeps the CTs at bay, but perhaps not. They try and push in together. It is a good idea. Maybe they could catch a player off guard, but of course, Caserato was completely prepared. And again, it looks like we should see FURIA taking a pretty clean anti-eco round right now. I don't think they're going to take any casualties once again. And indeed, that is the case. Finished off in the end again by Yuri. FURIA now probably will keep those weaker weapons in play, and I'd expect them maybe to go for a bit of a quick round. They know, of course, that although Lazarus are buying, the buy isn't going to be perfect. I mean, because it is round 4, because they went for that force buy in the second, they do have the loss bonus built up a bit more, so good amount of utility, I suppose, is actually in play with the Molotovs, the smokes, some flashes as well. An issue, though, being that they haven't been able to actually bring out a defuse kit, so that could end up costing them if it comes down to a retake. And as I said, with those weaker weapons in play, I wouldn't be surprised if we do see FURIA going for a quicker approach. And right now, out towards the secret position. What is that from Art? Just spamming through the smoke. I did not expect that one at all. Zelzas, I don't think he did either. Didn't get to actually see anyone. Was calling the information of those footsteps that were going past them, of course, down into Secret. With that now, again, the man advantage in favour of FURIA. Swag in a decent position here, needs to try and find at least a couple of frags, which he does. But does he expect another player to be in that exact same position? Apparently not. As Yuri does come through with the trade, that puts the man advantage back in favour of the T side. They can slow it down now, with still well over a minute remaining. And I believe they do have some information about the ramp. I don't think Sabrosa's actually made his position known, but of course they're being cautious. Sabrosa, the ramp player, normally they do expect him to be rotating down through this position, and as we can see then, it's Dapper as well coming from Secret. Speaking of Dapper, of course, was one of the more impactful players yesterday for Lazarus. Had that miraculous 1 versus 5 here on Nuke. This time he has a bit of assistance from Sabrosa against 3, and unfortunately they will not be successful. We've seen Sabrosa find 1 frag, but that's all that was allowed. FURIA off to a very quick start here on Nuke, leading 4-0 already. Oh, what happened to the stream, guys? That wasn't me. I do actually just want to say that. I haven't had a single issue here on my end. 0 dropped frames still. I send my feed to ESL, and then they put it out to, like, Twitch, YouTube, and Facebook. So, yeah, I can't be fired for that one. We're all good. As was said, make sure you refresh. I don't know why I'm saying that. You can't hear me unless you've already refreshed. But right now, Lazarus, they're finding the most success they have thus far. Doing so with just pistols and a mag 7 in play. Man advantage being found, but Caserato actually does end up finding a double frag to recover it. Was getting a little bit shaky there against Sabrosa. It was close to going down. Back into 3-on-3. I mean, with the damage onto Caserato, it's certainly still a winnable position for Lazarus. But if Furia just stick together, they do have the favorable weaponry, of course. They just try and trade it out. Looks like they are going to try and bring it towards ramp. I don't believe there's anyone here to try and actually defend this at the moment. They've taken a little bit of a gamble on the CT side, stacked up towards A. One on the bomb site, one in heaven. But I believe they may actually be able to hear that footstep. I don't think so, though, because you can see Swag still being cautious of outside. So we should see Furia being able to make their way down towards B if they wish to do so. And that will indeed be the case. Smoke being dropped, that'll give them the plant pretty easily. Either way, though, of course, Lazarus not really being able to rotate down in time to actually put any sort of a stop to this bomb plant. I mean, it's certainly a retake that they may be considering. Dapper with that AK, a couple of Deagles, there's Kevlar for Infinite as well. And indeed, with Swag coming forward, I was going to say maybe now he has a chance to try and pull this in their favor. Gets a bit of damage onto Yuri, so that's actually 2 low HP players now for the Furia side. I mean, it's certainly winnable. Problem, though, of course, no kit as they didn't buy into this round. With the bomb already ticking away, that AK probably just going to be carried over into the following round. But as I said, of course, they are now pushing forward. Dapper gets 2 quick headshots on the AK, the final player in that corner. It's Caserato all alone, pinned down. And as the frag comes through from the Deagle of Infinite, I believe he should just about have time. It's going to be a close one for sure, but I believe he does. We have that 10-second warning music, just so we know. And indeed, he is going to be able to find this. So Lazarus able to go ahead and get a round on the board. They do it off the back of pretty much a full eco, apart from a couple of players picking up Kevlar. So that is it's a nice round to find. Boosts up their economy a little bit, able to carry over some weapons. A Krieg and an AK, of course. And here we go. Furia there, of course, able to buy back in themselves. It's a bit of money left over. They would still have enough to get another buyout if they do end up losing this round, at least on the majority of the players. Yuri to be able to drop one over. That's actually some pretty decent damage being found to begin the round. Sabrosa dropped to 63, but a wallbang Infinite ends up getting tagged down, I believe, over towards ramp. And Vinny peeking out onto A drops Dapper with a quick headshot. Zelza's not going to be any more fortunate than his teammate was, of course, as he goes down in towards Secret. And this is not looking good for Lazarus. It's the gun rounds that they're struggling on, apparently. I mean, stick to the pistols. Of course, that's a joke. Yeah, Fury, even though they do have the 2-man advantage, not really being too much of in a hurry, I suppose. They are still keeping it relatively slow. They group back up. They've gone for that outside execute to get the control and get some players down towards Secret. And it looks like they're just going to leave Caserato then lurking into the door, inside door rather, so he can cut off the rotations from the A-bomb site, anyone trying to get down the vent. But yeah, those footsteps, of course, being heard now. They do realize that it's probably going to be the commitment towards B. Sabrosa drops the smoke to stop the lurk rather from being able to get too much done for the moment. Caserato blowing that door off the hinges. It is going to give away the fact that he's in towards the door right now, but I mean, it shouldn't really affect the outcome of the round anyway as the bomb goes down. There's the fuse kits in play, but I mean, with the economy currently being quite weak for Lazarus, they can drop over some weapons. That's definitely going to be what they need, with Zelzas not having enough to buy. And now, of course, with Sabrosa also going down, Zelzas gets dropped. It's only 1 AK that potentially can be carried over now. This is a best of 3. Ergib Bergwa? I cannot pronounce your name, man. Apologies. It's a little bit long. But I would hate to cast you if you ever played CS professionally. That would be that'd be a mouthful. And that's not what I've signed up for. I can see you've already been answered though. Chat able to let you know that it is the best of 3. But yeah, this one's the best of 3. But after this, we do have actually a best of 5 coming up. It's Ghost, of course, already waiting in that grand final. They do have a map advantage as well, and they will be taking on the winner of this matchup. So we are going to be seeing one of these teams again, whoever's able to take the victory in this best of 3. And right now, FURIA at least starting it off on Nuke extremely well, and in this round as also actually, of course, with that opening frag already being found from Caserato, they do look to just try and take it out towards A. Dapper on the bomb site, he needs to try and hold it down with at least a couple of frags. Unfortunately, he finds absolutely nothing apart from a little bit of damage towards Caserato, of course. So with that now, the A bomb site already under the control of FURIA. The bomb being brought over, they didn't even have it too nearby because they weren't expecting such an easy route into the bomb site. Best of 3. Yeah, it's a best of 3. So whoever's able to grow the best tree, like, you know, that's what it is. It's not about who plays CS the best. It's who's able to go ahead and actually repopulate the world with trees in order to get more oxygen. That's what it is, man. But yeah, best of 3. I can say it. I can say it right if I really try, but you know, that ain't needed. One frag coming through from Infinite there. That should actually allow for them to save these Zogs. The problem is they're still being hunted down. One more frag coming through from Swag. Gets a second as well on Vinny. Clotheslining him with a quick AUG bullet, and with that now the final player of AbleJ. He's shied away from trying to really hunt it down anymore. I mean, they do have a pretty decent economy, but they don't want to be giving away the guns unnecessarily, and of course he didn't really have the time to hunt any longer, as the round was pretty much over. There we go, Lazarus carrying over a couple of AUGs. They do come straight back in onto the buy, of course. The AUG in the hands of Zelzas once again. Lazarus at this point, they're back onto the full loss bonus. They've been on it, I believe, since that previous round. But look at this. I was going to say aggression potentially trying to come in towards the hut. I believe it was Dapper trying to push forward, but of course that Molotov being dropped ends up tagging him all the way down to 28 HP. And it looks like FURIA now preparing for a very quick hit towards this bomb site. An already low HP player there to try and actually defend it. This could be a tough round once again for Lazarus. They have Subrosa to open heaven. How the hell has Archie been able to get all the way onto the bomb site without them even being able to spot him at all? They had no idea. The trade comes back onto Subrosa in heaven. And again, the bomb goes down as FURIA are looking to be in a very advantageous position. With that 4v3, a tough retake going to have to come through for Lazarus. And if they don't get a frag quickly, they'll probably just be left to go ahead and run away and save once again. What's up, Tez? Welcome back. Hola, señor. Hola, mi amigo, rather. I can't? Okay, I can't maybe. Maybe I can't pronounce it right even if I try, but I mean, it's a little bit better than I'd normally say it. So, I mean, it works. Trust me, it used to be a lot harder to actually understand what I was saying. So, count yourselves blessed. Nice frag from Infinite there to finish off the round. He just quickly takes a frag from behind his favorite position. 7-1 now, though. It's the Brazil scoreline, but it's Brazil that leads. The buy, of course, still coming through from Lazarus. I mean, with the loss bonus built up and with weapons being consistently saved, they're able to drop over, they're able to scrape out the investments. Zelza's unfortunately relegated down to a FAMAS rather than that M4 or AUG, or even the OP, of course. He was nowhere near being able to pull that one into play, though. But let's see. Lazarus needs to start picking up some more rounds, or this is going to be a real struggle for them. 7 already on the T side for FURIA. I mean, this is probably a half that FURIA would be happy with if this is where it ended. I mean, with the context, of course, they wouldn't be. They wouldn't want to let the next 7 rounds go. But that's pretty much what Lazarus need in order to make this a half that they can be complacent with how it's gone. Spam coming through. Ooh, AbleJ almost able to find that trade frag. Subrosa just took it into the corner. Actually ends up returning quite a lot of damage, but gets dropped eventually by Yuri as he tries to fade away into hell. That's exactly where he's sent. Now it's a 4-on-4. Already quite a lot of control being found for FURIA, but I mean, the issue is, although they've taken control of ramp, they've given up pretty much everywhere else on the map, so you can see they do even have to be cautious of this flank, because it is a possibility that they could have pushed in towards the lobby. But a free frag for Dapper as we do see Abel trying to creep up into heaven. I mean, he was the low HP player, so if you were going to send anyone up into a likely position where they're going to die, if there is anyone there, then that's probably the best idea to get themselves a bit of info at least off the back of it. But I mean, info isn't going to be too useful if they're not able to connect their shots. Another frag gun in favor of Dapper. Infinite coming through the smoke, should have a free kill on towards Caserato. And that leaves it all on Vinny. He's been spotted, and I don't think he knows Infinite's crouched behind this box. And indeed he did not. So 3 players able to survive in that round for Lazarus. Pretty decent. They'll be able to drop over some rifles. It actually looks like Dapper and Sabrosa can probably just buy for themselves. But the issue is, of course, they don't have a lot of money left over in the bank, so they need to start chaining these rounds together. They need to build up some momentum. They need to show us a little bit more on the CT side. He speaks Spanish. Oh yeah, I just gave you the extent of my Spanish, I believe. I took French in school. Spanish was the other option. We do English and Irish, and then we have a choice. In my school, at least, it was French and Spanish. Some schools do like German. I think even some do Latin, which is just kind of useless, because if you're learning Latin and Irish, you have 2 dead languages that you can do absolutely nothing with, you know? It's not a great idea. But yeah, minute and 20 seconds right now on the clock. It's been a slow beginning to this round. We do see them looking to try and pressure on A. Art, though, scoped up on the op. Doesn't actually manage to connect it on Swag immediately, but he gets a second opportunity. Pun completely intended. It was a second chance, and he's not going to miss it. When Eminem said he only got 1 shot, obviously, it wasn't in reference to Art on that AWP. 5 on 4, make that a 5 on 2. Every time I try and get the numbers out, it does indeed change, as this round spirals out of control for Lazarus right now. Sabrosa and Dapper all that remain. No defuse kit in play. Once that bomb gets planted, I mean, again, the only option is for them to go ahead and just run off and save. Bugger off. Quick exit frag from Dapper. Gives him an AK. Wants that over the AUG. But as I said, the chances of them winning the round, there's 0 at this point, since they aren't actually looking to try and go for the retake. Furia already putting them in a position where they will have a lead at halftime. The question is, how much of a lead? At this point, it's looking like they could take a massive lead, potentially, if they keep this up. Irish isn't a dead language. I mean, it's pretty dead. Where's the sexy ESL UI? I mean, if they want to give it to me to run off my home PC, I will do it. But yeah, I'm doing it off my own PC at home. So, unfortunately, we've got the normal GUI. Spanish isn't dead. I didn't say Spanish was dead. Stinky Pete 420. It's a nice name, man. I like it. Quick shout out. But yeah, 8-2 right now. I mean, Lazarus, they need to try and bring it up to at least 6, ideally, on the CT side at this point. They'd want 7, but I mean, how they've been playing, that's not too likely. Good nade, though, coming in. I mean, Vinny tagged down to roughly half HP early on is a good find. Zelz is aggressive. The Molotov burns him and gives away the fact that he was pushed forward. And unfortunately, it makes it an easy frag for Able J. Only 1 bullet had to be connected through the smoke. He done so successfully. And Swag, I was going to say, could be flanked out, but he ended up turning around just in time. So a 1-for-1 trade early on. It does, of course, favor the T side, but I mean, Lazarus is at least somewhat recovering from that early frag onto Zelz's, who has been going down a lot to actually kick these rounds off so far. Of course, we're still a minute for Furia. They aren't in too much of a rush, but as you can see, Vinny, he wants to try and pressure over towards A. Needs to be careful. He's already tagged up somewhat. Just drops the smoke to allow for him to fall back off. And with that now, Furia, they will go ahead and retrieve that bomb and look to try and seemingly make their way over towards ramp. Currently, I believe, only Infinite towards this position. I believe he does have the op, though, so playing from hell, he can try and just find the quick frag, take a new angle then from hell, and see if he can maybe even get another as they go down into the ramp. So let's see. Pushing forward, though, so he puts himself a little bit more open. He's going to have to connect the shots now, and unfortunately, he doesn't do so. Misses by about an inch or so. Art with that up of his own, ends up finding a frag. Dapper getting aggressive in lobby. He needs to step up massively. He almost mows down 3, but Vinny somehow survives. And he was actually the one in the front. A little bit unfortunate for Able J from behind getting taken down. But it's Caserato and Vinny. Caserato almost caught off guard from the vent. Ends up with the headshot going in his favor. A little bit of an accuracy, I believe, for Swag there coming up the ladder, unfortunately. 9-2. Lazarus now, without being able to actually save over any weapons, they do have 2 players looking at an eco. I mean, if they want to buy Infinite, Sabrosa, and Dapper can Even then, if they eco, then they're going to be probably down 10-2. At that point, 5 on the CT side is the optimal score that they can actually get. So it's just not a good position for Lazarus right now. Of course, we do need to remember that this is the map choice of Furia. I mean, we haven't actually gone over the map veto, so that's something that we can quickly run down while we have the pause in play. So to kick it off, we did have Furia removing Dust 2, Lazarus kicking over past out of the map pool. Furia then coming through with this Nuke pick, as we said already. Lazarus choosing Mirage, and then if needed, then it would be Train left over to the side of the series. So it could be an interesting one. I certainly think Mirage could be a lot better for Lazarus. I mean, I don't think we've seen them win a single nuke game from what I can recall since they've formed as this lineup. They haven't played it a lot, but yeah, haven't been very successful. Mirage, on the other hand, though, it's a decent map for them. Problem is, it's also great for Furia. So with the way that this map pool has gone, I definitely do favor the Brazilians. And I feel like that's going to be the case no matter what, because Furia just have a pretty great map pool. It's very well rounded, especially against teams on this level. I feel like they can compete on pretty much any map apart from Dust 2, of course, which they do insta-ban. But yeah, man advantage being found again for Furia. I mean, how many times has that phrase been uttered so far? We're only on the 12th round at this point. Pushing forward though on the A, the smoke towards main does actually cut off the CTs from being able to get much vision, and because of that, a bit of desperation as the spam comes through. Infinite in Heaven gets dropped as well. And now it's only Swag and Sabrosa again that remain, and I mean, I hate to say it, but I feel like they've got to save. If they get a really quick frag, then maybe, but it's a 2-on-5. They do at least have a defuse kit and a couple of flashes with a smoke and a Molotov, but what are their chances? They're being held off by utility. There's still more smokes in play for the T side. There's Molotov as well. Is that Yuri lagging or me? Oh, okay, I think that's the Go TV. What the hell is happening? I've got 40 ping. Hello? Hello, Go TV? If this happens for any sort of prolonged period of time, I'm going to go ahead and message the admins to see what's up, because I don't have any loss, I don't have any choke, I've not got any SV VAR. Ping seems fine. FPS is like 250 most of the time, like 200 right now. That's just because GoTV is terrible. I've got a pretty solid PC. I got like 400 in game. You get a lot less on GoTV, but yeah, Furia 10-2. They extend the lead further as you would expect. And Lazarus coming through with just a bit of an upgrade. They don't spend everything, they keep the money so that they can actually get a really solid buy in the next round, which is something that they haven't been doing. And look at this aggression that's coming through over towards ramp. I mean, it's not the first time they've gone for it, so Furia definitely going to be cautious. But a 1-for-1 trade to actually allow for an AK to be picked up for Infinite is it's worthwhile in this position. Is it going to allow for them to actually pull this round in their favor? We did see them getting that second round themselves, actually off the back of the pistols earlier on in the half, or actually their first round it was. But unfortunately this time it's only that one that's found early on. The AK doesn't manage to give them anything else. They do end up getting closed out pretty quickly with 4 surviving for Fury. At this point they don't even really care because they've got the money to buy for the rest of the half anyway. But it looks like the lag of course has stopped, so we G boys. Here we go. Lazarus coming on to potentially their last full buy. I mean, if they end up losing this one, then they're not going to have a great economy in the next round. Of course, they will be investing into what they can. If they get rifles, maybe limited on utility, etc. And I mean, already 2 frags for Vinny. Catches a couple of players on ramp off guard. Dapper then trying to come into trade and be the hero that's needed. Unfortunately, isn't going to be it. Shut down very, very quickly. Puts it into a 5-on-2 once again. This time it's the B-bomb site that they've found under control, though. This is just domination from Fury right now. The Brazilians are rolling over Lazarus. I mean, what else can you say? This is one-sided, and it's not really what I was expecting. I did think Lazarus would put up a fight, but I mean, on Nuke, I guess I was kind of expecting Fury to take the win in general, but I did expect Lazarus to put up more of a fight than this, because I mean, even though they haven't won one yet, they have at least been putting up pretty solid, putting up a fight all the time. They never did really just go down and out like this, as they have so far. It's looking like Fury potentially could have a 13-2 half on the T side of Nuke. Again, it is their map choice, but I don't really give them I don't give them a definite win either over on Mirage, considering it is one of Fury's better maps as well. I mean, it's not their best map by any means, but for them, every map is playable, as I said, apart from Dust 2, which they tend to ban. But there we go. Zelzas, he finds an opening frag. Does get traded back as he tries to drop a smoke into door. And in the meantime, Dapper trying to peek down from the hook gets dropped as well. So what was a favorable position for Lazarus is within a couple of seconds, turned around and just charged off in the other direction, because FURIA now have a 4 versus 2. Zelda's on 1-14, so that one frag he got a couple of rounds back, or in this round rather, was actually the only kill he's found so far, which is not actually something I noticed before. I've said that this is my issue. You know the way if you go to a job interview and they ask what's your weakness? If I had ever had an interview for a casting position and they want me to stream it as well, my weakness is that I always forget to bring up the scoreboard. Oh, Sabrosa though, he should get this one frag. Unfortunately, no other players have actually pushed forward, so he was hoping for a little bit more with the trigger discipline. Infinite though on the P90 of all weapons. Manages to spray down Vinny and Yuri, and now it's the 1v1. Sabrosa does indeed clutch it out. Casarato, unfortunately on low HP, isn't able to actually find the frag as he drops down. So that will be a third round now for Lazarus. I mean, if they were on the T side, when they got those 3 rounds, maybe you'd say, okay, it's doable. If they get that pistol round, then they can fight right back in. But I mean, 3 rounds on the CT side, certainly not ideal. On the map choice of FURIA as well. It's looking like we might be seeing a quick map number 1 for sure. I see everyone roasting Zeldas. That's I mean, that's not ideal. I mean, he certainly hasn't been playing great in this one, but overall for Lazarus, he's been performing quite well. This has been a struggle though, and yeah, in that previous round, standing out in the open to drop that smoke was an interesting decision because he didn't even check if there could be more players. But yeah, pistol round coming through. RT loves those dual Berettas. We seen him pick them up yesterday on Nuke as well. Will they work out in his favor in this round is the question. They cross the secret, but it's already been called over. Vinny's in position, finds a quick headshot, looking for Mordo. Will actually end up getting taken down, and by Mordo, I don't mean the new medieval sword fighting game. I do mean he was looking for more than just a single frag, because of course, with only 1 going in his favor, and the trade coming then in as well, again for Lazarus down in towards B, they do end up with a man advantage and the bomb going down. So a 4 versus 3, that's a solid nade though onto Swag. Didn't have Kevlar, so it completely destroys his health. But of course the issue is Abel Dink down. Yuri trying to come in from the ramp though, already deciding it's best to fall back off because they did end up losing another teammate in the meantime. So Lazarus, they will pick up that second pistol round. It goes without saying that they did need to. It gives them the opportunity now to try and build back into this game. Here we go. Lazarus going to come in with a very safe buy in this one. I mean, it's safe in terms of trying to give yourself the best opportunity to close out the round, but it also can be dangerous if you end up losing a couple of weapons. My chair's annoying me, it keeps creaking. But yeah, it also can be dangerous if you end up losing a couple of weapons and giving them over to the CTs, because then it can get quite dangerous, especially with 4 AKs in play. They can't really send SMGs in first to scout out or anything. To be the first ones going in and allow for the rifles to trade. Instead it's rifles all the time, but I mean, that may not be an issue. Celsius goes ahead and finds himself a frag quickly on outside. That is his 4th frag now, as he begins to step it up. Had a decent pistol round as well shown, of course, but yeah, 5 on 4. I mean, it's not out of hope right now for FURIA, but they have lost a lot of map control as well. I mean, at this point, Heaven control about to be found for Lazarus. They could set up for an A split if they want to. And against those pistols, being able to come in from Heaven with the rifle, it is certainly a favourable fight to take. And so it's apparently that one from Infinite ends up dropping the Scout of Art, spamming through the wall, actually able to finish him off. So it's a 5 on 3 now. They're getting ready to finally hit this A-bomb site, but there is 3 players nearby, so I mean, opportunity for a bit of damage even to be found. Vinny and Casarato able to find 1 each. Trade comes back from Infinite, and it is still the 3 on 2 favor on Lazarus, but I mean, Sabrosa on 5 HP, Swag drops quickly, but it is being recovered, but low HP on Infinite as well eventually means he goes down, and it was dicey for Sabrosa. But as he rolled the dice in the fight, he was able to win it out. Fortunately, his opponent also on low HP, of course, so Lazarus, they inch out that 5th round, but it's a lot closer than they would have hoped for. And off the back of that, knowing, of course, that the economy is low over on the Lazarus side, FURIA do end up deciding to buy. an AUG, a FAMAS, a couple of Deegs, and a Scout, alongside some utility, which is of course quite important. There's a lot of smokes and molotovs and flashes in play, as early on the Scout damage goes in their favor, and a little bit of Mach 10 damage as well, as Dapper dinks down Infinite. They did manage to at least get down in through the vent early on, so they do have B control. The bomb should be planted quite easily. And now without FURIA actually having a defuse kit, I think they probably should just be trying to save all 5 of these weapons, give themselves the opportunity again in the next round. But I mean, they're going forward. If they got this kill quickly on the Infinite, there would have been an opportunity for them to actually try and get in and get the defuse. But as we've seen, of course, it doesn't happen. Yuri now in towards Garage, trying to get a couple of frags for himself, see if he can make it a costly round for Lazarus, as he isn't too successful. Neither is the player he had nearby to try and assist, whose name I do not recall right now because I didn't actually look at the kill feed. But yeah, Art able to carry over the Scout most likely. He is just currently chilling in towards the control and doesn't have Kevlar though, so I mean this could be dangerous. No, he's fine. 71. I wasn't too sure if without the Kevlar it would bring him down quite low or not. But he moved slightly away also, so yeah, 12-6 now. This will have to finally be an eco coming through from FURIA. Having the Scout to work with, an upgraded pistol and Kevlar for Vinny. With the loss bonus having actually already built up somewhat, they are able to pull out a few weapons at least to back up that Scout, a few pistols rather. And a couple of nades also. And that's some good damage. Dapper taking down low HP already. I mean, Lazarus, they're not really being given the opportunity to build up very much money. But I mean, that's a decent start. Subrosa actually does catch Able J on ramp. Pushes forward as well, realizes there's no one else here at the moment, so should be able to go ahead and actually call for his teammates to make their way around towards this position as well. But I mean, with already outside control having gone in their favor, they're just going to push forward instead. They managed to drop the 2 players towards Hell. It's Swag who does so specifically. And with that, Vinny and Yuri all that remain. The bomb should be taken. As long as they group up and stick together, they shouldn't really have too much opportunity, too much of a chance to actually lose this round, of course. Just need to trade successfully. This is a decent start for Lazarus. I mean, been able to come out on top of this round as well. Seemingly going to do it cleanly, kind of makes up for those previous ones. So, although FURIA were able to keep the economy low early on and were able to keep the fight going, it looks like Lazarus will be able to build up a bit of money finally. As Dapper checks up close on the vent, looked away for a moment after spotting the shoulder and quickly realized that he had. Flicks back, takes the headshot, and the bomb finally will indeed go down. Infinite able to get it planted. It's Yuri who remains. Trying to creep up through the vent, I believe. I mean, with the body armor in play, he may just want to save it over so that he can get a little bit of an easier upgrade. He hasn't taken any damage either, so he would be able to get the helmet for just 350. But the only issue is if he stays nearby to that bomb, then he won't be able to get the helmet for 350. So I don't think that's going to happen. They know he's in towards the vent now as well. Oh, and he's actually going to try and go up now. I guess the goal is to see if he can get a weapon, maybe. Not looking like it's going to happen, unfortunately. Infinite gets off a few warning shots. Does tag him up. But in the end, Yuri just fades back down the ladder and runs away to go ahead and carry over to Kevlar, as I said he should. Going to be able to get out an AUG. I mean, he doesn't need to get the helmet, of course, going up against the AKs mostly on the T side. Normally you would expect, but of course in this round, Lazarus aren't even bothering to upgrade. I mean, it's working out for them. You can see helmets-wise, there is only 2 players that are able to pull them out on the FURIA side, so the Mach 10 and the FAMAS are still going to be super useful. The AUG as well, going to be one shot towards those players on the head, so let's see. Although Lazarus bring over these weaker weapons and have a little bit of a bonus round for themselves, they'd still have a good opportunity, and that's the Mach 10 at long range against the player without a helmet. Yuri instantly getting dropped. Art trying to play around the smoke. This could be dangerous. Actually gets the no-scope onto the player up close in the corner. Maybe a second to be found, but it's not from him. It's Caserato who ends up getting 2 of his own from the bomb site. Needs to be cautious though. Low HP ends up going down. Zelzis drops Vinny trying to come out through the door. And with that now the bomb being picked back up for Lazarus, they have a man advantage. It's Able J all alone for FURIA. He has now been spotted. I mean, some good damage at least being connected. Zelz is brought down to half HP. Subrosa already low. But he doesn't currently have a defuse kit. I'm not sure if there's one in play, actually. I don't recall. Gets the first frag. Now Zelz is pinned on the bomb site. Decides to trade out to the AK. But he's up against a full HP Able. But he'll manage to find it just about survives on 4 HP, picks that up back up, and brings it to within only 4 rounds now in the difference. 5 in a row for Lazarus. So Furia, they've had the full loss bonus already for a couple of rounds since they were also boosted in that first round after losing the pistol. So they will be able to upgrade somewhat in this round, even if it's not the full buy. You can see SMG is coming out, some pistols as well, a bit of utility being found. But on paper, this should be Lazarus finding the 9th round, and slowly but surely grinding their way back into this one. If they manage to make this comeback happen on the T side, it will be spectacular. And there we go, Zelzes. We want to see him get going on that AWP. Able to take down Art towards outside, catches the aggression, and you can see sitting up there at 7 frags now, certainly on the road to recovery. And he's definitely a player that they do need to contribute if they're going to make this comeback happen. Oh, Yuri heard Dapper dropping down. Actually gets himself an 8k because of it. Unfortunately, he is the only player currently without Kevlar on that Furia side, but let's see if he can get anything done with it. Nice trade in towards the hook going to be found. Yuri going to get dropped, unfortunately, as the AK doesn't even connect a single bullet before being taken out of his hands. Post-mortem, of course. But it's all on Vinny. He's been spotted now. We've seen AbleJ just moments before going down on outside. 12-9. Another relatively clean round coming through from Lazarus. Being able to keep 3 players alive is good. They don't have to put too much reinvestment in. I'm surprised they didn't drop over Dapper and Sabrosa though to allow for them to keep a bit of extra money, but I suppose it's okay. They do still have enough in the bank for a buy if needed. But yeah, Furia back onto an investment of their own. The op available in the hands of Art once again. The Augs across the board. Plenty of utility, but no defuse kit. That is strange that they don't pull out at least one. But I mean, if they find the frags, that's not even going to be needed. As long as the bomb doesn't go down. The only thing that goes down right now for Lazarus is their player count. They're down into the 3-on-5. But the round haven't just barely begun also, of course. So a great start for Furia. Swag, I believe, creeping up close onto main right now. He's going to be the one who's hoping to make the play that can give them an opportunity to work back into this round. And indeed, he actually does find one. Unfortunately, limited to that before being dropped by Vinny, leaving it all on Sabrosa and Dapper. 2 very capable players, but as they push forward, it's Yuri and Vinny to have to deal with. They do it the first. Took down Vinny. Sabrosa actually goes ahead and drops Art, who's coming in from behind, but he is on 2 HP, and he has the same in with the players to fight against. So, unfortunately, it's not going to work out too well. It was a nice flash. Yuri was blinded, but, of course, just kind of spamming away, hit that bullet that was needed very, very easily. Furia finally getting around on the board here on the CT side. Can they keep it up is the question. And although Lazarus have had won 6 rounds in a row, rather, they didn't build up that amazing of an economy. So if we do see Furia managing to get this one and the next, they likely would be able to just close this out 16-9. So Lazarus, they do need to go ahead and try and return the round immediately. And don't allow for Furia to try and actually get into their comfort zone on the CT side. And it's Art who's getting into his comfort zone. That is fine Art indeed. Dapper and Sabrosa quickly eliminated. Leaving it onto Zelzes, Swag, and Infinite right now to stop Furia from taking it up to 14. I mean, positive is they still have a lot of time on the clock to work with, so they're not pressured into making a decision about what they're going to do super quickly. They can try and actually work a couple of picks even. You can see that they are indeed trying to do so, using that utility to try and flush out some players. Unfortunately, the Molotov not going to do so. A bit of an off angle from Vinny being held. It is successful for the ding, but he does end up going down. Fury quickly drops Infinite, will be able to finish off Zelzes, and now it's all on Swag. Not looking too cool in the 1-on-4. It's actually looking like the CTs are going to peek him. I mean, that's a bit of a mistake. If anyone can win this for Lazarus right now, it definitely is Swag. And they're giving him the chance to do so. They need to make sure they just peek this one together. Coming in from behind, it is AbleJ and Main. Made his position known, and Swag, it's so difficult. He doesn't know where to look. It's actually AbleJ down in vent. Never mind. So Swag now pushing forward can force the issue on the bomb site. Caserato, though, eventually gets it. That got a little bit awkward. They do end up taking a bit more damage than necessary, a lot more reinvestment having to come through as well. But you can see, as I said, Lazarus is going to be investing what they have left over in the bank just to get the buy in this round to try and deny Furia from taking map point. Map of which team? This is the map choice of FURIA. I mean, I'd say most people coming into this one were definitely expecting FURIA to take the win on Nuke. But what I like seeing from LAZARUS right now is even though they had a very poor start and it looks like they may still lose Nuke, they did warm up a little bit, which is definitely going to be a big deal as they head on to Mirage. Because as I said, even though Mirage is the map choice of LAZARUS, it is also a really good map for FURIA. So I feel like with them looking to try and take the victory here on Nuke, they would be in a good position for a potential 2-0. Look at that from Yuri. Blinded, standing in a Molotov, and through a smoke, manages to actually find himself a quick double kill. Vinny comes in and finishes off Swag, who had already been tagged up. It's a 5-on-2 with the round barely ticking down. It's a minute and a half that still remains. Oh, a little bit awkward. Dapper trying to get that frag. Actually has a teammate step in front of him. Art takes the bullet for him, though, so, I mean, maybe he can give him a thank you for that one. And although he gets a couple of frags in the end, it is still a 1-on-3. Dapper, can he do it again? Can he get the 1 versus 5? This time, can he do it on the T side is the question, unfortunately, as his heel is exposed, his Achilles heel. The M4 will be able to quickly drop him. I'm sure that'd be pretty painful, getting shot in the ankle multiple times. I mean, I'm sure getting shot in general hurts a lot. Can't say I've experienced it, but yeah, 15-9 map point for FURIA. We said LAZARUS coming into this round now would have a weaker buy, and it's actually weaker than I was expecting. I thought they'd maybe be able to pull out a couple of rifles even. It's pistols and SMG, a couple of SMGs rather, with the MAC-10 and UMP, and look at that from Art again. A double frag to start off the round for FURIA. Mo's down 2 on outside. Dapper even runs through the Molotov into Secret, so takes a bit more damage. The nade coming in afterwards drops Swag and Sabrosa down slightly more. The HP is just slowly being chipped away at. This is FURIA in a good position right now to just close this one out 16-9, and it looks like it will be the case. It's all onto Swag right now. Finished off by Caserato, who gets himself a quick triple, and there it is, 16-9 indeed. Gonna